Hi, George here, and today I'll be showing you how to change a background and replace it with something a bit better for the picture like this. Now this is a project that I did a few years ago in Affinity Photo 2. Today we're doing this in Affinity Photo 3, which is also Affinity by Canva. So let's close this one down, and I'll bring in the base images for this, and I have them right here. If you want to work along with this, I'll put links for these two images in the description. Now the first thing we have to do is to remove the old background. But there are some problems with this. Notice up here we have some areas where the hair blends into the background up right in here, right over here. It's a bit hard to make that out. So for that, let's go over here to the right-hand side where it says background. Let's right-click on background, duplicate, and we'll just hide the original background. Here we go. We'll be using this layer to create our layer mask. Now, in order to make a good layer mask, I want to have good separation between the foreground and background. So let's go ahead and accentuate this. Come down to the adjustments. And let's click on levels. And in here, let's boost our black level a bit. And let's adjust our gamma a long ways over here. Not like that, so it's crazy, but up quite a ways. Adjust the whites a little bit as well. I'm increasing the separation between the foreground and background. Notice up here, we can now really see where the foreground and background is along the top of the head. So we've solved that. We now can use this to create our layer mask. Let's come down here to the background layer. This is our background copy. Then we'll come down to the object selection tool. Let this think for a minute. You can see the little stopwatch right there. Once it has figured the picture out, we can then use this to select our foreground subject. Okay, there we go. And here's our foreground selection. I'll click on that. Let it make that selection for us. And then we'll click on Refine. And we'll use the Refine Selection tool to clean up our selection. Now I have this set at Overlay, but there's also a black matte in here, or a white matte, black and white, and transparent. Use the one that you like best, but for me, the overlay works out real nice. I'll leave everything else at their default settings. And we're going to brush right around the edges here of the whole picture, especially where the hair is. It's very good at doing this. The first stroke like that will take the longest. The rest will go a lot faster, like that. And we'll work down and around, make sure we get all of the hair selected. And let's work in where there's some spots like this. You want to bring this in a bit. Notice how if I brush in further into the picture, it's going to grab the background areas that are inside the picture a bit better. That looks good. And we'll come into here and get this bit of hair right there that takes care of this side. Maybe right up in here. And then let's do the top and then the right-hand side. Now I like taking just little strokes like this and give Affinity a chance to come in here and figure things out. There we are. Okay, one thing about Affinity, if you are switching here from Affinity Photo, you'll notice that in Affinity 3, it's now called Affinity Pixel instead of Affinity Photo. Same thing though. Okay, we have our selection made. Let's come to here, it says selection. Let's set this at mask. Before we had more options, we had new layer with layer mask. We no longer have that, we just have mask as an option. Choose apply, and there we go. We can now change our background. We no longer need this adjustments layer. I can turn that one off. Let's now bring in our new background. An easy way to do this is going up here to File, come down to Place, and then choose your new background picture, choose Open, and you get a little insertion point here. Click in the middle of your picture someplace, and we can then position this. It should snap to the edges like that. And notice that it comes in on top. Just drag that layer underneath our working layer, and there we go. It's looking real good so far. Now I want to darken the background down because she was on a dark background before. This background is too light. So for that, let's add in some adjustment layers. Come down here to our adjustment, and we'll use levels as our first adjustment. And in here, we can increase the black a little bit. That darkens down the background. Now, don't go too far in any of these to get weird effects like that. Just bring it down just a little bit. Let's bring our gamma down just a little bit like that. Don't bother with the output black or white. We don't want to have the white level because that just brightens things up again. So we're working with just the black level in here and also the gamma level. And we're working on the master layer because we want to have this working on all of our colors. That's getting better. Close this one down. Let's bring another adjustment in. It's a bit too vibrant at this point. You can see that. So come here, click on Adjustments, and let's click on Vibrance. And here we have Vibrance and Saturation. Bring this to the left a little bit. What I'm looking for right now is the color of the gray in behind some of the hair right here. I want to get the background being a similar value. That's pretty good right there. Just knocking off some of that extra orange that we had in there and bringing that down. That looks good. Let's go back and double check our levels adjustment. Double click on the icon right here and we'll darken things down a bit more. There we go, looking better. And check our gamma just a touch. This tends to flatten things out a little bit. And let's go back up here to our vibrance adjustment. Again, double click on the icon and take a bit more of that color out, just a little bit with the saturation. And I still want to bring this a bit darker. It's still too bright. Let's go up here and choose exposure. And we'll bring down our exposure a little bit. There we go. Now we're getting right where I want to be. We're no longer seeing any odd gray things happening in the hair. It's all blending in perfectly in the background. We have a real nice background coloration that's not competing with our foreground. But we have some detail back here now instead of just that gray tone that we had previously. If you want to, you can go back and forth with these and tweak them a little bit until you get just the look that you want. To bring back a little bit of the color in here. And I think that's looking pretty good right about there. Now, if you want to learn more about how to use Affinity, I have a complete training course for this, and I'll put a link for that at the top of the description. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe. I'm doing more Affinity videos, and I'll see you next time.